Trump is doing everything in his power to bait black people, and it's only getting worse because black people aren't falling for anything at all right now.
Check this video out.
That are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they...
Once again, leave it up to the Trump administration to continuously leave dog whistles for the red meat of their base that is racist, sexist, misogynistic, and bigoted. This administration continues to show us time and time again what they really think about people of color, black and brown individuals, and women.
He thought farming was a black people job. He thought the fields were for black people. I think we should say that congratulations to Mr. President for thinking about bringing back the immigrants. Well, after realizing that black people are not living in the 17th century anymore, where you expected them to go back in the fields, it's 2025 and they showed you they are not willing to go back. See, DJT. Oh my God, this term is gonna be fun. Yes, it's gonna be fun. I know there's nothing fun about it, but it's gonna be fun in a way that I think the entire world is gonna get to realize that black people are not delusional when they wake up and say, we see something, we smell something, we sense something. It is what it is. And however much everybody wakes up and wants to gaslight black people, they know it's not what you think. It's just that you guys just think that everything is racism. Well, in this Donald J. Trump administration, it's going to be so fun because everybody is going to get to realize it is what it is. And black people are never wrong about their anticipations on what a presidency is doing. So he gets on Fox News and says, well, I realized I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I went too hard. Oh, he went too hard because he thought farming was a black people job. Trying so much to humble black people in 2025. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section because man should stop trying to humble black people so bad.
I get it now. So the black jobs that Trump was talking about on his campaign were in the field and on the farm, right? So he thought we were going to take those jobs because we all know what he meant when he said the people from the inner city. We know that meant black people. I mean, there was no point in sugarcoating it. We knew exactly what he meant. So that's why he was trying to put the immigrants out, because he tried to place us there, right? Because he thinks we belong at the bottom. And he really has some black people yelling out, yeah, they're taking our jobs. Like, no, baby. The job that he thinks you deserve is a job that won't take care of you. That won't pay these bills. Nothing. But he had y'all going, though. And that's also why he's been trying to hit us with things like Medicare and school lunch, all that stuff, because he wants us to feel like we have to take those jobs. But then once he saw we weren't taking those jobs, now all of a sudden the immigrants are not the vicious criminals that he made them out to be, right? Now they're very special people. Now they're just made to be in the field. Baby, that is slavery you're describing. Seriously. That they're made to be in the field, and then you say they can't get it back because if they do, they die? Sir, these are people. You're acting like they're some type of farm equipment or something. Oh, but it didn't work out for you, huh? You realize that when you put all those people out and black people was not stepping up to do that. Because why? First of all, we got the same bills y'all got. Why we gonna take a job for less? Okay? We're not. But when they didn't know, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna bring them back. But I'm gonna bring them back on different terms. You need them back. That's why you're bringing them back. Listen, if those were the black jobs you were saying that they were taking from us, they can have those. we don't even want them. And you see that now. Maybe I should have thought that through, because I guess y'all don't understand. As y'all evolved, we have to. And you try to put a hold on all DEI programs and all programs to help people because you thought we was going to be running out to them fields. Y'all ain't getting us back in them fields. We're not getting back in the field, sir. That's something we're not doing again. So you're going to have to go ahead and figure that one out. Because I'm speaking for all of us, we're not getting back in the field.
Child. So Trump is one step closer to trying to get the black folks back out in the fields. He wants us to take the place of the immigrants. He said himself that we're just special kind of people, but they've been trying everything to get it to work and they haven't worked. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on a minute.
We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead.
No.
So how do we get them back out in the fields? How do we get them working again so that we help the farmers? Well, if you take the jobs away from them, if you cut the funding and take the educational system away from them, if you have people like Clarence Thomas on your side, then maybe, just maybe, you'll get this to work. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on.
Here's what happened. This week, the Trump DOJ shut down 2 federal civil rights cases from 1970 in Hendry County, Florida, and Cobia County, Mississippi. These cases were put in place to stop schools from running separate systems for white kids and for black kids. They've been under federal watch for over 50 years to make sure segregation didn't sneak back in. Now, oversight is gone. Forever. Back in the late 60s, these school districts flat out ignored the Supreme Court's ruling to integrate. Black children were stuck with crumbling schools, fewer resources, and lower opportunities just because of the color of their skin. Federal court orders were the only thing forcing these districts to treat all kids equally.
And being in Florida, living in Florida, being in the middle of the educational system here in Florida, I know for a fact that even though these laws were put in place, we were still not given the same experiences systematically in school as white folks. We weren't privy to the same programs. We weren't given the same opportunities. And that was even after the federal government was watching over it. So can you imagine what's going to happen now? I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes reporting this news it's disheartening, and it makes me very sad, and it alters my mood sometimes. Sometimes I got to back up and just don't look at anything and don't report anything. At the end of the day, we still need to know. I don't know what can be done about it because people are like, okay, well, you telling people about it. What are we gonna do about it? I don't know. I didn't break it, so I don't know what it takes to fix it. I have ideas on what it's gonna take, but I don't know if we mad enough yet. I don't know if we're ready for that yet.
They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they...
Once again, leave it up to the Trump administration to continuously leave dog whistles for the red meat of their base that is racist, sexist, misogynistic, and bigoted. This administration continues to show us time and time again what they really think about people of color, black and brown individuals, and women. What does he mean by inner city? What does he mean that these people naturally have the ability to work in fields and in the agricultural industry? Nothing new here, just same Trump administration tactics of dog whistles and symbolic racism. Once again, the Trump administration shows this time and time again. And honestly, I think it's quite intellectually insulting for them to assume that these tactics will just go over our heads.
Trump basically tells Fox News that he regrets busting down on the immigrants and sending them back home because his farmers now need help. And all I can say is I knew he was going to regret this shit because there's no person really working harder than an immigrant due to the simple fact that they're on a mission. They're on a mission. They come to this country just to work. Immigrant is probably the hardest working person you know. Hands down. No ifs or buts about it. And it's just like they was not bothering you. I knew in the end time you were going to need these people to take care of life in America. If you really think about it, who are building these bridges that we drive on? Immigrants. Who are building these houses? Immigrants. Who are cutting the grass? Immigrants. So now that your farmers are in need, you want to double down and say, oh, we're going to bring back the immigrants and make sure they come legally. It's not easy to get rid of them. Well, you try to challenge the situation and it backfired on your ass. Don't bring them back now. You broke up happy homes because you hated immigrants. But now that you're in need and you thought the black people was going to enslave and help your farmers, which they're not. This is not back in the day. They barely want to fuck work.
Yeah, listen to what this man is saying. Just listen. I'll be back.
But we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried. We've tried. Everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people.
First of all, who are these people? Let's address that first. Who are these people? Then you go on to say the people in the inner city are just not going to do their work. You damn right we not doing their work. You think you was going to deport people and then have the inner city come out and work in fields and become new farmers? This is not the 60s, the 50s. We are not. Don't piss me off. Now you want to backtrack and say, oh, we're going to get y'all back and y'all can come and go to school and all. Now, some people may want to come back just because they want to be in the United States to do God's work because that's just what they do. They're natural born workers. But then again, I would let him know if I was deported and then you asked me to come back to do work for you or just the States, period. Oh, baby, I'm going to need a lifetime supply of citizenship. You're going to have to up the ante on the pay. I need to be living comfortably. I shouldn't have to work from sun up to sundown and just make a few bucks a day. Like, farmers are not making that kind of money. Now, if you thought the inner city was going to get out there and do some work, you got your rabbit.